Hello and welcome to the Overland Journal podcast. I am your host, Scott Brady, and for this week we have a special episode. This is an extra episode for us, and it is led by our good friend Bruce Dorn. Bruce had a conversation with Vasilisa Komarova down in Mexico, and they talked about an idea for a new organization. And that organization is called Sea Change Global, and the first offering, the first focus for the organization is what's called the Heroes Network. This is all in its infancy, but this conversation with Vasilisa and Bruce bring to light the need for this kind of support for solo travelers to protect them from violence, hopefully preemptively, and then if they do have an encounter, that they have some support after the fact. For those that have some sensitivities around those topics, please be aware that that's going to be part of the discussion. For more information on the Heroes Network, you can go to seachangeglobal.org. Please enjoy this brief conversation, but an important conversation with Bruce and Vasilisa. This content is brought to you by Overland Journal, our premium quality print publication. The magazine was founded in 2006 with the goal of providing independent equipment and vehicle reviews along with the most stunning adventures and photography. We care deeply about the countries and cultures we visit and share our experiences freely with our readers. We also have zero advertorial policy and do not accept any advertiser compensation for our reviews. By subscribing to Overland Journal, you're helping to support our employee-owned and veteran-owned publication. Your support also provides resources and funding for content like you are watching or listening to right now. You can subscribe directly on our website at overlandjournal.com.
So we're back. I'm back with Vasilisa Komarova, adventure traveler, and now the founder of My Thousand Smiles Women's Discovery Group.
Circle, Women's Circle. Yes, I call it as the Phoenix Sisterhood.
I love it. If I got dressed up and if I got in drag, could I be in the sisterhood for just like the motorcycle riding part? Just say no. It's okay to say no.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Our audience knows.
We'll see in the future. Maybe there will be, like men also. But for now, I want to really concentrate just on women and leave it this way.
Absolutely, as it should be. So prior to having this concept, I know, and after your terrible experience with assault, you made yourself available to go out and speak to women's groups and tried to reach out to women who had experienced trauma.
Yes, I did it. I did it mostly in Bolivia because in Bolivia the level of women abuse is so huge, and obviously there, there were more publicity to my case. So, a lot of women were reaching me either in person. Sometimes, I literally would walk a street and someone would recognize me and speak to me, or someone would write me via Instagram, So I did concentrate on this, but I have to say that at some point when I was doing it, I couldn't disconnect yet emotionally from that. So, I was, I had too many flashbacks, and I just needed to close that part for some time and get back into the beginning, what I was doing, just, going and chasing horizon and having the most beautiful experiences. And now again, I feel that I'm in the balance, I'm healed, so I can go back into it without traumatizing myself again and be real help to others.
It's a process. You currently work as a trainer, personal trainer, or do you teach?
I do therapies. I'm not a yogi person.
No, not doing anything.
No, I have some clients for personal training, and also I do therapies. I work. So one of my jobs in London in the last years, I was a physical therapist for those who were going through rehabilitation. It's like a sport massage. So, but with accent on the muscle pain and muscle injuries. So while I was traveling, I would either set small personal studio, on, let's say, on the roof of the house where I would work, or in Chile, I was working in a circus, so, I would help some people to train there and giving them therapies. And here in Tulum, I have my little business of therapy, but now I work not only with the body, I also work with traumas through some contractions and some knots in the body. I can also help to release trauma, so it's physical and energy work.
Great stuff. Great stuff. It's all coming together. All of your experiences and all of your expertise and all of your mental and physical prowess is coming together in this one moment. It's fantastic.
Yes, and in my family, because my grandma, she comes from Siberia, so we had healers in our generation. Yeah. So, but the thing is that I went through one dramatic experience. It was actually connected to this decision why I didn't want to be in the law anymore, and everything all together. So I went through a very dramatic experience in my life, which also did close me from the law, and I didn't want to know anything about spiritual life. I couldn't completely ignore it, but let's say I wouldn't looking for it. And now, again, when I came back here in Tulum, I had another very strong experience that opened my eyes and my heart again to this. So I'm bringing back into all that my generations, the knowledge of my grandma, my grands together, putting the physical, mental, heart, and the soul together.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. So I want to go back a little bit. When you were out there traveling, you were everywhere. You were Patagonia, you were Chile, you were riding your bike. There's a million photographs of you in spectacular locations out there enjoying things. And then when you went quiet for a while and then we reconnected, I learned about what you had gone through. And for me, one of the hardest things to accept was how the bureaucracy, how the world mistreated you after you survived a brutal attack. And it was infuriating. It was infuriating to hear that you had tried to get help from the local authorities and they would not provide anything because you couldn't pay for it. And
I think, in many parts of the world, certain problems are the same.
Yeah, exactly. And you just went through such misery. I mean, you literally, a near-death experience, and then seeking help, there was none, or there was very little. And you fought and you fought and you found help and you found help, and but it seemingly took forever. And
well, that time, I didn't have money. I didn't speak Spanish, so I was in the country,
you're out there. Yeah, so and it occurred to me that there are so many people in the overland community, the group that we're speaking to right now. There are so many good people in that community, and they're far flung. I can't help but believe that there was someone or more than a few people in our community that were not too far away, but there was no way for you to reach them.
The thing is, one thing, I didn't really knew someone who I could go to. It's one thing. And second thing, I was going through the deep trauma, to be honest, like only when I really won, then I could. My mom, she still doesn't know what happened to me,
Gosh.
So, like when something of this kind happens to the woman, it's really difficult to open up, particularly, in that moment, then all the fingers, were pointed at me because those guys who did it to me, they had country behind them, they had their families, they had more money, so I just, I felt so small and everything was hurting and, mentally and physically. So I wasn't ready to speak to anyone.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, I understand as much as I can without having, I'm not a woman, I wasn't in that situation. I've never experienced anything nearly that horrific, but I experienced a lot of anger. And I feel that there's something that can be done in the future that we can organize good people to be on call, and that they're with the right technologies and the right backing and the right smart people, we can create some kind of a network that would be able to be there.
Brotherhood, famous brotherhood.
A heroes network, a heroes network.
A heroes network, exactly.
We call in the cavalry, you shoot up a flare, somehow you send out a signal to not just the universe, but the satellites. And in the States, we have something called 911. And I don't know if there's something similar to that in Great Britain, but hopefully you call for help and help arrives, and that's a flawed system.
Yeah, but sometimes there are no roads really to get help easily, and when the system is so crushed, it's difficult. Yeah.
And in our community, we have a lot of travelers who are out there like you, men and women who are out there, sometimes solo and sometimes in groups. And I felt for a while that we could organize so that danger zones could be identified, so that travelers could make a decision between going this route or that route. And solo travel is in itself a goal. You want to have the singular experience. You don't want to be in a group. If you want to be in a group, you'd take a tour. But I think I believe there's a legitimate expectation that we could create a network so that if you were a traveler and you wanted to let it be known that but just vetted people, just really make sure it's good people. But if someone was traveling and explained they were going to go on this route, you don't have to identify where you are and get into all that. But
at least know that you're there, and if you disappear, where to go and look for you.
Yes. And maybe advice on where to travel and where not to travel, maybe opportunities to caravan with a few other people in danger zones and all that.
Absolutely.
And try to find the technology, try to make a platform for it, and make the future safer. And I've talked about this, and it's getting traction. It's a foundation is being created. I'm creating a foundation called it's emotional. A heroes network. And there are powerful people behind it. It's going to happen. It's being formed right now. And I'm going to be the chairman of the board of directors. I'm inviting you to be on the board of directors with me.
I'm open.
You're in. Okay, great. So we will talk about that more, but it's something that this conversation may not come out right away because a lot of work has to be done, but there are people in the UN that are interested in this. There's
Amazing.
An interest internationally in various women's groups that exist to address the same problem or to make people aware of this problem. But I guess there's something unique about the idea that we will be proactive about this problem.
Yeah, because sometimes there are too many words and not enough actions.
Yes. So beneath the Heroes Network is seechangeglobal.org, and the SEE stands for Significant, Essential, and Enduring Changes. And we're going to try to be activist group, activism in trying to address problems, not just talk about them, but actually address them.
Good. Some change eventually.
Yes. So going to push really hard for that change. I have really powerful partners in this, including Scott, the publisher of the magazine, and a wonderful woman that works in a lot of nonprofits. And we're teaming up, and we're going to attack this thing.
Amazing. Thank you from all the women travelers for that. It may be great help. It will be.
And I'm going to do my best to talk you into letting me do a feature film about this story, because the way the story doesn't end with you discovering this new outlet, this new good work that you're doing. I think the story comes to that point, and then we see you active on the board of this thing, doing what you're doing one-on-one with women in very real situations, and then helping me do this other bigger thing.
Amazing.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. So, Vasilisa Komarova.